Good morning. It's drive time with Dave. I'm Dave. I'll be your driver. So this morning, well, let me start by saying that, gosh, the comments and messages are just fantastic, overflowing. It makes me so happy that so many people have found so much of the stuff that I talk about useful, and it's helping them, which is great. I feel like I'm completely accomplished, and I won't need to make any more videos. just kidding. So, some of the things that I've touched on in the last, today's Monday, January 30th, 2017. This will be webisode 34. Where was I? Yes. So some of the things that I've touched on in the last couple weeks is the return on the investment, our expectation versus reality. And the reality is never, our expectations and reality should never, ever be the same, because, well, that would suck. I just say it like that. It would just suck if you're just like, well, I expect to make very little money, and that's actually reality. You know, we expect to make millions, and reality is we're just going to make a few bucks. And I, for one, am very happy about that. I'm okay with it. I'd like to, make millions of dollars. But that takes years and years and years. So many years it's not even funny. So even if you start today and you're making a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 profit, it takes time to build up your capital where you can buy more inventory, and it's a slow process. Were sales slow over the weekend? No. Were sales great over the weekend? No, sales are the same. One of the questions I got over the weekend, an email. I like emails. I don't get to them very quickly because there's a bunch of them. Responding to the comments and messages are a lot faster. Email message was, hey, I've got 140 items. I think I take really good pictures. This is how I started. This is what I started selling. Then I branched out a little bit. I made a little money, and I started buying a few other items. Will you take a look at my store and tell me what you think? Okay. I obliged, and that's the point of the video. I will oblige whenever I have a moment. I'll take a look and see if there's something that I think. And I had a whole lot of thinks. Look, this email is going to be long, and it was long. So I decided that would be a great topic of conversation for us this morning. You and I, we're gonna talk about this. So the first thing that I noticed within seconds of looking at, I just randomly picked out one listing and compared it to everything sold, and it was off by quite a bit. Like the sold price and the listing price were like this. Like, so you can't, my hands went off the screen so fast, you're like, I was like, well, emotional purchases. Some of what this was about were the emotional side. Well, these were some of my things, my children's things. They were, and that's difficult. Is that how? Sometimes I run out of a funny way to say something like, well, whether you're selling your stuff, your neighbor's stuff, or some stuff you bought at a thrift store, it's stuff, and you have to figure out how to separate your feels. That word cracks me up when people use it. Your feelings from the purchasing side and the sales side of it. So the first thing that you learn as an aspiring young real estate agent. People's emotions towards their property has an inflated sentimental value. Well, I want $200,000 for my house. Well, sir, according to market research, your house is going to sell for $140,000. And they go, how can that be? This is a wonderful house. I've enjoyed it so much. Well, the next guy doesn't know he's going to enjoy it so much, and he wants a deal. So, it does not matter whether it's a house that we're going to sell, or a pair of boots that we're going to sell, or clothing, whether it was yours, someone in your family's, whether it's your furniture, whether it's your knick-knack things, whether it was, I don't know, I can go down the list, whether it was your son's video games. By the way, what I find amusing about, you know, I really try to make videos where I don't talk about video games, but they're such a topic of conversation. You know? Whether it's your son's video games or not, for some reason there seems to be no sentimental value attached to video games. I don't know if anybody notices that except me, but it does. It amuses me, and that's why there's no question about being able to buy them cheap and sell them for a fair dollar, because apparently there is no sentimental value. Unlike, gosh, that was my favorite pair of work boots. Gosh, that's my favorite blue shirt. And that shirt, that's my lucky blue shirt. And that shirt, I did so many wonderful things, so many great things, had so many amazing accomplishments. I wore that shirt to my daughter's graduation. Yeah. That shirt's worth $5, buddy. That's it. So my shirt that I'm wearing is worth $5. It doesn't matter what I've done in this shirt, right? So there are some things when somebody's wore something. I have no examples, sorry. Some superstar, some super rich person wore something, and somehow they've convinced a whole lot of people that's worth something. But you notice how those items, those specific items, they don't trade hands very much. So keep in mind that history, the history of items, the history of things, are a guide that can provide us with pricing structure. I don't need to see that my exact size shirt, or my exact color shirt, or my exact size shoes, or my exact size jeans, or my exact anything has ever sold. What I care about is something similar has sold, and it's sold for this price. Can I sell my item at that price? If I can sell my item at that price, that's it. That means I bought my item correctly, and I'm selling it for a price that will cause it to sell. The key is to sell those items. Do not put those items in inventory. Do not put those items up on eBay, and every day you log in, you're like, wow, look at all my stuff. What I like to do at the end of the day is go, wow, look at all my money that I made from all that stuff, because it was just stuff. That was it. Just stuff. It's everything's for sale. Well, everything here is might not be for sale, but I've been told in life everything's for sale. So I'll say everything's for sale except for, I don't know, my children. I'll say my wife. She's not for sale. I don't think. But anyway. So, keep in mind, did you buy it right? Can you sell it quickly? And in the middle of that process, are you going to make a profit? Can you make enough profit to hire additional employees to help you list faster, source more efficiently, and make more profit. Sometimes making bigger profit isn't the key. Sometimes, how much stuff can I buy? How efficiently can I get it listed, shipped, and collect my money? Collecting the money is efficient because it's just going to come in through PayPal. And you got your money. That part is already there. You have to start on this side. You have your good eBay account. You have to start getting products that you're not emotionally involved with. Figure out an efficient way to get them listed. And whatever that profit point is, you say, you know, I'm going to strive to make $5 profit on every item I sell. So I'm going to start by, I want to get to selling 100 items a week. All right, so let's analyze 100 items a week. So to some people, a week seems to be Monday through Friday. But a week in the world of resales, 7 days. It's actually difficult for me to narrow down like a week because we know that the selling never ends. So it's on straight, average 31-day periods. But if we're going to divide 100 over 7 days, we want to come up with how many items a day we want to see sell, right? So we want to see whatever it is, I don't know, 13.5 items, 13 and a half items. I'm going to sell half an item, and you're going to buy it. Let's just say I want to sell. I can't do math. I can't. Because I can't. Let's stick with the 13 items would be close enough. So to get 13 items to sell, you need to have about, I'm just guessing, I'm going to go with 700 items listed. Because that number sounds good. Because that's very close to 1,000. You get 700 items listed a day, and I think your sell-through rate is probably going to be between 10 and 13. Really the key is to get to 1,000. That's kind of the starting point. That's when you launch. And then you work to get yourself to 2,000. And then that's when you really see an impact and you really start feeling the money coming in. That's going to take you a couple of, one really good employee or two part-time employees once you get, because you need to maintain 2,000 items. So if you're selling 30 items a day based on 2,000 items, you're selling 13 on 700 to 1,000 items. Once you get to that, 40, 50 items, and you're selling, 250, 300 pieces a week, well, you've got to be listing like 2-to-1 sales. So if you're selling 50 a day, that means you got to get 100 listed to replace those, and then continuously adding to build and compounding the money, the return on the money. We don't look at this like it's items. You have to look at it like you're compounding your money and what the investment requires. It's all about investing. Whether you're investing it in the stock market or real estate, or you're investing it in inventory. You don't want to hold inventory. You hold stocks. Hopefully they go up. Real estate, hopefully it goes up. It's supposed to go up whatever, 3% a year. It's a very small return on your investment. But if real estate, and I'm kind of off topic here for normal buying and selling, but it's just to give an idea that if your inventory produced the same numbers as an investment property, it would go like this. I buy an investment property for $100,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. I can rent that house out for $800 a month, which is $10,000 a year. Close enough. For everybody going, wow, this guy can't do math. Close enough. Then your property appreciates at 3% a year, but your property taxes are 2.5%. So you're actually gaining 0.5% of appreciation on the property, but you're still making 10%. on your property, right? So then you divide that down to per month, and it's a percent, basically, is what it comes out to. So if you invested the same dollars up or down, you remove some zeros for your own benefit, and you say, I got $1,000, and you only made 1% on it, and you're making $1 a month. It's a bad investment, because you can't hold inventory, right? So if I've got $1,000 to invest, 1%'s $10, sorry. I actually can't do math. If your $1,000 was working for you, inventory has to work on a daily basis, not in 30-day cycles. You have turn cycles, but on a daily cycle, you're making $10. Well, you're doing pretty good, because then they're actually making $300 a month, which happens to be a much larger percent. I mean, across the board, you're making 30%, right, on your money a month with a monthly turn. So it's much greater than if you were to invest, but it's a lot more work, because it's all based on the amount of work involved. So with a rental property, there's zero work, minimal return. In reselling, it's a lot of work, and it's continuously buying and continuously listing, and that's why the return is so much greater. So the more you buy, the greater the return, so on and so forth. I feel as though I've provided no insider advice this morning, and I thank you so much for watching. This was Drive Time. I'm Dave, your driver, and I'll pick you up this afternoon.